Good day, everybody. This is V from the Beyond the Q Kitchen. We are now in the what's gonna soon be my balcony garden. Of course, it's inside because it's cold. Um, I needed to check on my worms today. And so I opened this lid. This lid is right here, and I found some bizarre stuff. Well, not that. That is bizarre, but that wasn't in my worm bin. And planted right here, well, sprouting right here, not planted, sprouting right here was a huge plant. I plucked it out of there gently. It did not have a very good root base, and it was all the way over here. It had a nice thick stalk. I don't know what it is. I throw my compost in here, so who knows. Oh, there's a little wiggler. And so who knows what it was. But I put it in a pot in the bathroom, and hopefully it'll survive. I'm still having a horrible time with the fungus gnats, but I don't want to put the mosquito bits in with my worms. So, and there was another little guy. He was sprouting up right here. So I plucked him out of there gently. And I had just put some soil in a container because I was going to plant a seed, apparently. Well, instead I ended up planting whatever this is. This was the little guy that was in there. And in a minute I'll show you the big one. These are just mosquito bits. Because like I said, I've got a fungus gnat issue. And if I don't get rid of it, it's going to kill all my seedlings. It's already killed about 15 of them. They sprout out, look good, and next day the fungus gnat larvae have cracked open and eaten the roots. So I keep finding little things with no roots. But that was in my little worm bin. Now, I just checked my worm bin on Wednesday morning. So these have actually popped up since then. Unfortunately, the light's it's actually too bright out here. Before I go show you the other thing that I got out of my worm bin, in the past, I've had other volunteers pop up out of there. And this is the only remaining whatever that was growing in it the last time. There was over 50 of them, but this is the only one I've gotten to survive. I don't know if it's a bean. The only thing that was in there as far as compost was beans that I had gotten from the farmer's market. I blanched, which means they came to a boil for 3 minutes, and then they were thrown in freezing cold ice water. And then they were let to dry and thrown in the freezer. So I possibly, maybe, but whatever this is, it's still growing. I've got the mosquito bits down there, and the stupid things are just, I don't know. I've tried peroxide. I've tried neem oil. I have no idea what to do. Now those are the mosquito bits, and they're still flying around down there. It's so aggravating. But whatever this is, if anybody can tell me what this is, it's a viner. I did also throw eggplant and zucchini that had rotted in my fridge in there. And I always, when I'm feeding my worms, I always put all the food in one area after I put it in my Ninja and pulverized it. So apparently, whatever it is, it's determined. Not determinate, just determined. This is a little pumpkin that my daughter got to germinate. These little guys right here, I hope you can see them. I don't know what those are coming up there. They look to be... Oh, they're so small. I don't even know if you can see them. This little guy, he's not doing so good. Right there. I'm not really sure what that is because my little doggy decided he wanted to. Oh, well, that was doing all right. And now it's broke. Great. Well, hopefully he'll come back. That is actually a tomato. Aunt Ruby's German green tomato. So I know what that is. This is my potato box, my potato bucket. And these potatoes were actually planted on February 1st, and they're starting to break through. This is just the head of a radish. I put them in there because I like to eat the radish and beet greens. And today's watering day. So let me show you. I bottom water all these. I believe this is either my radish or possibly it could be my purple Vienna kohlrabi. Not sure. My dog ate my marker. Your markers are only good if they're taped to the container really well in my house. So I did label them. Unfortunately, little dog ate it. I believe this is either an okra or a tomato. If anybody can answer that for me, that'd be great. It's just sitting on top of it. I'm letting my coffee grounds dry out before I put them in my compost. This right here is actually just candy stripe zinnia mix. And I just planted those on the 12th. So that was yesterday. So of course they're not sprouting up. I did have them on a heat mat because the soil when I put it in there was from out here and it had been cold. It's beautiful today. It is sunny. It's gorgeous. So I'm just hardening up these a little. I just put them out here, so I'll be taking them back in soon. There's another little guy. We put him over there. So this was an okra, but it, again, the fungus gnat babies got to it, and that was the end of that. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this out. Now watch. There will still be seeds in there, and they'll start growing, and I'll be doing this again in a few weeks saying, I don't know what this is. But that's alright. I'm just going to empty this out because it obviously got a little too wet. So we need to dry that out. Maybe I'm emptying this out. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I cut them like this because once they start growing, and I'm going to, oh, hello. There was something growing in there. Alright, well, we'll just leave him alone and sit him here to dry. Sometimes that happens. I'll dump some soil out and realize something's growing just under the surface, so we'll leave that. Not sure what that is. There's another one. I actually planted him in there, but I put a little spoon in there with a sticker, and so I'm not sure what that is. It does not appear to be one of my tomatoes, so it may be an okra. And I'm realizing I have aphids. I just realized this today. They're really small, so I'm thinking they must have hatched. Another tomato, I believe. I'm not sure what this is. It keeps popping up. Last year I took them all out thinking they were just grass. But then I realized I'm on a third story, so I really don't think that the grass could get up there. But, you know, whatever. That was a kohlrabi. He died. Or maybe not. Who knows? So this is the beginning of what we have going on here. These bigger plants, like this size, these were all germinated, or actually started on February 23rd. That's my mother's birthday. So I always plant things or start things on some, significant dates, so I don't forget that at least. I just don't remember what they are. And that's just the story of my life when labels get messed up. That's why I started doing this. Because at least he can't get the packing tape off the containers. He's a very deviant little booger. Where is he at? He's been under my feet all day, so I keep stepping on him. I'm going to pause this for a second, take you in the bathroom, and show you what beautiful thing I found in my worm bin this morning. Well, there it is. I've actually planted the roots deeper than it was because literally there was only about not even a thumbnail or a pinky nail of roots. So I went ahead and I know it's not a tomato. It might be a bean of some sort. I have no clue what this is. I don't plant seeds, or I didn't plant any seeds in there, but I did have some of my seedlings. I had some of my containers with seeds in them on top of it. So I don't know if maybe when I watered things, it escaped. I have no idea how this happened. But it did. It is a little black seed. As you can see, the little piece of the seed is right there. So if anybody knows what this is, that would be awesome for them to clue me in. Okay. Now this is just an empty bucket. It has been watered from the bottom. I'm hoping that I can grow something in here. I keep taking the little fungus gnat eggs out. I have sterilized this with boiling hot water. I have added a cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide to the water. Poured it over there, let it sit, stirred it around. I did that 3 times. And then I let it dry out a little before I put the mosquito bits on it. And it still has the gnats. It's so annoying. I cannot get rid of these. I have tried literally everything that anybody has told me to do. I've tried neem oil, actually literally saturating it with a neem oil solution, and they are still here. That one has had the same treatment, that bucket. And there's a few, but I think they're actually, now I see more, they're actually from the bucket, from the other buckets. There's got to be a way I can fix this. I just don't know what it is. This bucket may look dry, but it's actually a vermicompost bin. And as such, I've learned that I cannot bottom water this one in particular because it drowns the worms. But before I figured that out, and the worms started like floating out the holes at the bottom, it was a great adventure last night, let me just tell you that. A lot of worms that had been in this bucket have been put into the large main box in the living room. Those are all the fungus gnats. Now this is the 3rd little sticky that I put in here. In order to move it, I had to remove a little cup I had. And my fungus gnats are kind of particular. They do not like vinegar. So what I have to do is make a solution of orange juice concentrate and water and half a cup of, a quarter cup of Castile soap. Mix that all together. Make sure it's well blended. And then I pour that into a bucket of 2 gallons of water that I have left out. Actually, I boiled the water first to make sure all the chlorine was out of it. And then I let it sit overnight just to make sure all the chlorine, because I have city water, dissipated. And then I brought it back up to a boil, so that was boiling hot, and added the solution I had made with the Castile soap and neem oil. and use that to put in, mix it up real well, and then I use that to put in little cups, and I put them in all my plants. Now I'm redoing my cups today. That's why you don't see any of my cups. I'm sterilizing the cups just to get the old bacteria out, so it doesn't smell up the house. And then I'll be replacing the solution and putting the cups back, which I might show you later today. I have had some people ask about recordings. I kind of abruptly stopped last year because it's kind of hard to record when you have your children locked down and not able to go to school. So they're here all the time. I am a single parent, so it's kind of hard to record when they're all here, either doing studies or playing. Or my youngest one, my youngest child does have moderately severe autism, so she sings a lot, and she does not like mommy to talk to the phone. It's very upsetting to her. So I can't even use the phone on speaker because it upsets her. She can tolerate me listening to YouTube just fine. That doesn't bother her. But if it's live, like a Zoom or anything like that, she gets very upset. She doesn't understand why those people are in that in mommy's computer and why I'm talking to them. Or sometimes I'll Zoom over my phone. She doesn't like that either. So that's why I kind of had to put a hold on the recordings that I was doing. Hopefully that will change soon, and at least I can get things done. I'm looking into getting a headset that also has a microphone, so she can't, hear other people talking out of the phone or anything like that. So hopefully I can get that and continue recording. This, I believe, again, is an okra. That is not a tomato. This is my tomato. They were both planted at the same time. So, I believe it's an okra. I wouldn't quote me on that. If anybody, I'm going to zoom in real good, can tell me what this is. Oop, I zoomed in real good. I made it all fuzzy now. You can tell me what that might be. I know it's kind of hard to see with lights. Now it wants to unfocus itself. Okay, well, if you can see that and know what that is, and let me know. I'd really like to label my things. And like I said, I know that one's a tomato. I'm not sure if this, however, does not look like the other Aunt Ruby's German green tomatoes. I did plant a mix, actually, of cherry tomatoes. So that might be what that is. And I knew at one time, but again, this little vermin that's hiding behind me got up there and took my little markers and played with them. I don't know why it hasn't taken off of those. Maybe because it's covered in little bugs. That might freak them out. But I'm going to pause you again and take you over to where most of the gardening is happening. And I'll be right back. Alright, I was going past and I realized that this is actually what I had planted in one of the containers, which you're going to see in just a second. It's a Tom Thumb variety of lettuce seeds, and I just planted those last night. Alright, this little guy was only about that big. It was a cutting from my Irish Eyes tomato that my mother had given me that has since seen its last days. So this is really special to me, and the vermin gnats had eaten all of the roots. So when I put this in there, there was like maybe 1 or 2 roots left. as you can see, just from being in this water, its roots have grown back, and it's now time to put into some soil, which is why I need the fungus gnats out of my grow buckets. Now this was outside originally, but then I had to put it in water, so I brought it back in. I had to refresh its water. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to go ahead and just put it right here, because I don't want it in direct sunlight. But I also don't want the roots getting any sunlight. So we're going to put him right there. Alright, this is the next bucket that has to be bottom watered. And this is actually where my seedlings started. So it still has the little, turn it around. This was the marker for the Aunt Ruby's German green tomatoes, which were sown on 2/11. And I videotaped that, but the audio for some reason did not come through. So, this is what makes me think these are okra. Right here. These little guys. I don't really know. That might be an okra too. I'm not sure. You can't really see very good. I'm recording on a smartphone. But hopefully you can see that and let me know if that is an okra. I'm just thinking it is because it says RB okra, and I'm thinking that means rainbow, maybe? It probably doesn't. I'll have to look through my seeds. But these were all started on 2/12. And then there's the yellow Petite watermelons, which were Maggie's watermelon seeds. They're very small, very sweet, beautiful little watermelons. So some of those plants that I don't know what they are also watermelons. So that's just great. This one's I believe a tomato. It's starting to get its second leaves on it. And this one needs to be bottom watered as well. This, I know what this is. This is my daughter Ellie was so proud of herself last year. We had some pumpkins, because Ellie just loves to decorate pumpkins. And she saved the seeds. I taught her how to save the seeds. She saved them all by herself, let them all dry out. Now I've got hundreds of seeds of decorative pumpkins. Not even edible, decorative pumpkins. So that's what that is. And that's the one that's doing the best. That's actually the first seed out of the ones that we started on the 12th of February that germinated. So this is her pride and joy, and Mommy's going to take good care of it. So it probably needs to go out in the sunshine soon. But let's check and see. It does look kind of dry. I did bottom water it just Saturday of last week. That's when I do most of my deep watering. If they need a sip here and there, that's different. But how you check to make sure it's moist enough is you take your little finger, well, my big fat finger in this case, and you stick it down in there all the way up to the knuckle. The top knuckle, connecting your finger to your hand. And this one's actually quite moist, so we're good. The little bits, the mosquito bits, do seem to be working okay. But I'm going to add some more because I see things crawling around in there again. I'm trying to let them dry out, so it's like a fine line, These are, okay. These are the lettuce seeds that I did last night. And I don't know where the little sticker is I had on there saying when they were sown and all that. I know that they don't need light to germinate. What I have in here is a mixture of potting mix on the bottom. So when they do sprout up, their roots have a good base. And then this is actually coconut coir, or cocoa coir, I guess I call it. That was hydrated. And I see that it's really dry and fluffy, so I'm thinking I might need to put that in a little bit of water. Because it's drying out. Which might be because of my light. I'm not really sure. Oops. That was attached. Now these guys here, I don't remember if these are my kohlrabi or what. I have to go through my seeds and find out. It's definitely a brassica, whatever it is. And find out what it is so that I can label it. Later on tonight, I'm going to be getting the Russian Spy. We call my daughter's hamster the Russian Spy. He's a Russian miniature. And he likes to hide underneath his bedding. And you'll think he's either escaped or something bad's happened. Because I do have a Chihuahua and he's down there doing something. So whatever this is the same thing that this is. But again, the little tabs I have. That's why I started getting smart and doing things like this. I did use the entire packet of lettuce seeds in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that. There's actually a container down there, right here, that I fill with water for bottom watering. But, because the seeds themselves are on top of the potting soil, and then they're covered with the the coconut corn. And then it's got the little, dino bits everywhere to try and keep. And the dino bits seem to be working fairly decent in this one. But I still see the little flies. I'm beginning to wonder if they're not fungus gnats, if there's something else going on here. Let me see if I can find one. They're everywhere and they're totally driving me insane. Here's one right there. See it? See it fly? Oh yeah, they're the bane of my existence. And then sometimes you see them mating, so I really squish those because we really don't want that reproducing. If anybody can please help me figure out what to do about this issue. Like I said, I've tried neem oil. I've tried hydrogen peroxide, both of which have been mixed in water. Not straight on my plants. I did make that mistake one time, and it didn't go well for the plant. So I would really appreciate a comment in the bottom. These are actually my sweet potatoes. You said, no, it's just an empty container. What happened was, I tried the water solution where you kind of do it like an avocado seed, put it in water. I got no foliage. I've got great roots, however. So, thank you, Deep South Homestead. Go follow Mr. Danny and Miss Wanda over there. And I went ahead and planted the sweet potatoes that had awesome roots. It was just covered with roots, but nothing else. So I went ahead and planted it the old-fashioned way, probably the same way my ancestors did. They were Mennonites and Brethrens, and they were from Pennsylvania, so they were farmers, obviously, and pastors. So I went ahead and did it this way, and I'm hoping that it'll grow some slips up there. It does seem to need some water. Let's give it the water test. Nope, it's good. There's a little bit of it sticking out there, see it? But I kept it covered because I want the bugs to get it. I'm fairly certain that one's nice and moist. So I've got the lights actually, I don't know if that's going to help it, but I've actually got it more towards the soil than I do the top. There we go. It was kind of an accident like this. This is a grow light. And this grow light's very interesting. Now, I do have another grow light system. I ordered this on Amazon and apparently they were out. So they decided to substitute for me a few months ago and sent me the same thing without. I've got these giant systems. It's all connected. There's 4 of them all connected together here. And it has the same where you can turn it off, turn it on, put it on a timer. You can make it go red and blue, or just red or just blue. And it's from the same company. But this one did not have the way to... It's got a sticky on the back, but that didn't work. It, like, fell off and onto my plants. I was not impressed. But this one works really well. What I've done here is, as you can see, it's like a lamp with octopus arms. So, I can move it around. That makes me happy. I like being in somewhat control of my situation. And so that's what's going on with that. Now, this little guy here, there you are, is my Black Magic Kale. I did just put this in here, sown on 312, Black Magic Kale, and I put 4 seeds in here. It's in this potting mix here. I still have 2 bags of it. This potting soil, and it's really nice and light and fluffy, so make sure that you hydrate it. Nice, white, light and fluffy means it's pretty much like a dust. So I had wet the soil, this potting soil, and I mixed it with a little bit of the coconut coir, and then I planted the seeds. I've got, well, I don't know exactly where they are, but there's 4 of them in there. And when they grow up, I'll just, of course, change the bucket. They're not going to be staying in this, this juice thing the entire time. Right now, it does not need the light so much, really. But what I am going to do, these are cooler weather crops. So I'm going to go ahead and put him out here so he can get a little bit of warmth and fresh air. But I'm going to put him not really in the sun. Hopefully that'll be a good thing. I'm working out on my front balcony today, so hopefully it'll get nice and clean. These are just my, I cut the lids, or the tops, off of some beets, and I've literally been harvesting these beet greens because I dehydrate them, turn them into a powder, and put them in my kids' food. Because sometimes you just have to be sneaky. And I think they're pretty much done. This is like the 5th time I've cut off of them, and they just keep growing back. I do see little growth down there, but I'm going to cut these leaves off today and get them in the hydrator, or dehydrator, obviously. There is some little bit of growth, so it's just the tops of them, and they're just sitting in water. But they're growing nicely. I didn't think you could grow beets